But I also would keep as much control as you can over your company and your design, because that's, ultimately what's so special. Big thanks to Omega Accounting Solutions for sponsoring Work Like a Girl. We love Omega Accounting Solutions. We're actually having the CEO on, which should be pretty exciting. He's flying here from San Diego to do it, which I love. But what's awesome about Omega Accounting Solutions is they know accounting. They're financial experts. They can help your small business be able to take advantage of all the tax credits out there, as well as get your business's financials to be safe and sound. When you're thinking about business financials, what do you need? You need a trusted partner that has their act together and that's focused on helping you as a business. If you call Omega Accounting Solutions, you can call them at 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9ERC. Quick 10-minute call, you explain what you need, they tell you what they can do, and bam, you come together. What's awesome about Omega Accounting Solutions is they're helping small businesses take advantage of the employee retention credit. The employee retention credit is for companies that employed between 5 and 500 people during COVID, and it makes your company eligible to receive up to $26,000 in tax credits. The other thing that's amazing about Omega Accounting Solutions is that they can also make sure that you recover payroll tax overpayments. So they're an all-around awesome solution. If you call 800-300-9ERC, you can learn more. Holly.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I am so curious about licensing deals. As a small business owner, is it worthwhile for a small business to pursue licensing deals? And do you recommend finding an attorney first or getting the conversation going? Are there independent ways to learn about licensing?
All right.
So
what
curious.
kind of business do you have, Holly?
I have a jewelry manufacturing company, and we use sand and earth elements in our designs that hold tangible reminders for people. So like a lot of times it's beaches, but sometimes it's golf bunkers. Sometimes it's Fenway Park.
Oh, I've seen you. You've DM'd me. I've seen your stuff.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with you, and I love listening to your podcast, and I just think you always have great advice. So I thought, why not go straight to the source?
Here's what I would say. I was always really wary of licensing at Barstool, just because I was worried that we would find like Saturdays for the Boys t-shirt priced at like $7.99, like everything must go, and like the brands we'd worked so hard to build would just be like trashed and destroyed by bad retail. So I was always really reticent of licensing. Now that said, we met Kendra Scott. So Kendra, I don't know if you listened to the Kendra Scott interview. She was awesome.
I did.
And
yeah,
have you read her book?
Not yet, no.
You should read her book, or at least just skim through it, where she talked about like her hustle as a jewelry maker and how she built, $1 billion business around jewelry. And what she did was she worked so hard to sell to retailers and sell to wholesale. So she didn't license her product to other people, but she did work super aggressively as a salesperson to sell to people who would carry her own product. And I would probably take that path if I were you, versus giving your brand or the permission to use your brand to somebody else.
I love that. Makes sense.
That's so cool, because the other thing is like you could pitch locally, right? So if you're pitching to a chain of stores, you could be like, we have the Philadelphia version, we have the Boston version, we have the New York version, we have the soccer fan version, we have the baseball version. So I think you
Absolutely.
could, I think it's worth obviously learning about licensing. What I would do is you can learn so much from Google or from YouTube. Like go try to learn everything you can. Read books like Kendra's books, see what books are there on licensing. Learn about the pitfalls of licensing and the principles of licensing. Like the thing I I do like about licensing is it really helps scale your business. The thing I don't like about licensing is it's very low margin, but you don't have to work for it. Somebody else is doing all the work. So you're going to want to balance those things with how much are you overworked or overstretched? How much control do you want over the brand and the product? So I think you can figure out all those things if you just apply yourself a little bit. But I also would keep as much control as you can over your company and your design, because that's, ultimately what's so special.
For sure. See, that makes all the sense and really good advice. I'm in a conversation with Carnival Cruise Lines, and some of the stuff you just said is so relevant to conversations that I'm having every day. So I appreciate it.
Awesome. This is perfect for Carnival Cruise. You could do this with like beaches and sandals, like tokens to remember people.
We do. I know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's cool to just have a little piece of your favorite place with you. And I've been doing it for 12 years. So we've been doing it bootstrap organically and shipped to about 600 retailers. But, I'm always looking for that next level. What's the next thing? What's the next step? So
yeah, learn more about it. But I think it's probably, I don't know. I got to think about it. But I think you're on the right track, obviously.
Thank you so much for your time, Erika. I think you're great.
Oh, I think you're great. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's talk about TravisMathew. This is my TravisMathew coat. My friend Allison always wears black nail polish because she's like, it's black like my soul, which is just a dramatic, fabulous thing to say. That's what I would say about this TravisMathew jacket. What's incredible about TravisMathew is they make clothing that's stylish, it's comfortable, it's easy to wear, it's well made, and it's fast and easy to get. So it's perfect for the holidays. If you go to TravisMathew.com, you can get all of your Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping done. You can save up to 50 to 60% on all styles and colors. So if you go to TravisMathew.com, you can get this jacket, you can get all sorts of stuff from their great women's line, and you can find gifts for pretty much anyone you can imagine. So go to TravisMathew.com.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh my God, hi, I'm Michelle. I actually called a few minutes ago and I got disconnected because my baby started crying, but then my husband stepped in. So
what a man. That's awesome. Hi.
Hi, I just went and grabbed him really quick. But my question for you has been any tips you can give me as I get ready to head back to work after a long maternity leave.
Ooh, how long was your maternity leave?
Well, I still have a couple more weeks. I'm pretty lucky. I'm getting close to 20,
awesome.
20 weeks. And my husband has been back for a little bit already. So I'm just, starting to mentally prepare for going back in.
First of all, aren't you so happy you don't work for that little company in Maine? Remember that lady from the little company in Maine who had like 2 days maternity leave, and they were like, can you actually work while you're on maternity leave? So awesome, 20 weeks. Going back to work after you have a baby, that first of all, it's so exciting. Congratulations. Do you have a boy or a girl?
I have a girl. She's so great. We love her. We're really happy to have her. But I am excited to get back into the swing of things a little bit because, we live here in New York City. So being in the apartment all day.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you're going to keep her, which is always a plus. Here's what I would say. One, I think women, after they have a baby, at least my experience is like, it takes you like a year or maybe just like a little bit less than a year to kind of get yourself back together. Like your body is like stretched out in all weird ways, unless you're like one of those superheroes that's like back to their normal shape. It took me like 2 years after I had a baby to get back to my normal shape. And then I also think it kind of like messes with you a little bit emotionally, where not messes with you, but it's a big emotional factor where all of a sudden you love this thing. Like your heart is now in another person and kind of like not running around, obviously just sitting there and like pooping and gurgling, but your heart is out there. You want to care for it and you feel responsible. And then for the first time you feel like a little bit of like longing or panging to care for something. I don't know. I don't know if I'm describing that well, but I think it's a big emotional change when you have a baby. And yet you want to be your old self. You want to be great at work. You want to love the things you used to love. You want to do the things you used to do. But the reality is like those old things aren't going to fit in the same way that they do now that you're a mom. Does that make sense?
Totally. I mean, you nailed the emotional part of it. And every day I try to come to terms with that aspect of it. I just know that it's going to be so difficult to separate myself from being a mom now, but I still want to be able to do, the best that I can. But I guess a part of that is like not being as hard on yourself as I might have been before I gave birth.
I think the biggest thing is like, one is all the things that made you great at your job or great at work or made you love work can exist after you have a baby. Like a baby isn't like some line of demarcation in your life and how you work before you had a baby or after you had a baby. Like that's just not true. I do think you need to be gentle with yourself as you like move to the next step and not like crucify yourself for like not being able to fit in the pants you used to have or feeling kind of fat or feeling like I had a baby and I like cried all the time. So it was like, or not, not feeling embarrassed that you've like all of a sudden you're like springing into tears for no reason, or that for the first time you feel like you really are sprinting to get home. Like don't be gentle with yourself and be cognizant of like what's changing and how you feel. And then also don't feel guilty if you're like, oh, I love to work. Like I remember going back to work and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm so happy to be back at work. I love work. Like it's so satisfying and fulfilling. And so you can be all these things. You can be someone who loves to crush work and someone who, loves to be around her baby. Because the other thing I think when you have a baby is like, the line for women does change. Who stays home and who goes back to work is a big point of differentiation. And it creates some weirdness with your peer group of like what your choices are versus what their choices are. And there's some baggage in that. But I think the biggest thing in getting prepared to go back to work is, one, just think about a week or think about a day and what is it that you definitely want to make time for. You may want to wake the baby up, or you may want to get a workout in, or you may want to walk to work to get a little exercise, or you may want to have lunch with a friend because you're missing being social, or just think about like what are the things for your life that you want to fit into every day or every week. And what are the things for work that you want to fit into every day and every week? And think about or visualize how that week is going to go, and knowing yourself, kind of set yourself up for like, okay, for me to be able to see a friend once a week, I got to plan it well in advance. So I have a sitter or blah, 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 blah. Or for, I want to be sure that I get back in the run of things or in the thick of things with your boss. You're like, I want to have a one-on-one every week. So I would just visualize your week and start thinking about what you need in it, and then you'll be fine.
Thanks. I am. I was taking it all in. I think that's great advice. And I feel like or maybe I should only speak for myself, but I love hearing about this from you. And I just love hearing this perspective because you sound so reassuring and confident. And that's exactly what I wanted to hear. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're going to be fine. Don't worry. You're going to like cry all the time and like at very sudden, inappropriate moments. Or you're going to be like, I don't fit in my pants and I hate myself for it. Or you're going to be like, ugh, Ashley from accounting moved up and I didn't. You're going to have all those feelings all the time. But if you do you and prioritize what you want and what you need and make room for yourself, not just for the baby, don't forget to do that for you and your husband, like then you'll be great.
Yeah. Well, I did do a trial run on the pants and fortunately we are fitting. So hopefully that's
Great.
One less meltdown for me.
Well, there you go. You're already ahead of the game. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Just baby steps, right?
Baby steps is literally it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We'll talk to you later. All right, let's talk about Tradovate. So that's Tradovate. You can go to Tradovate.com to learn more. I think you go to Tradovate.com/barstool. What's awesome about Tradovate is that it lets you play the stock market. So they offer a simpler way to access daily action on the world's top financial markets. These new contracts will offer opportunities for individuals seeking to take a position on daily price moves. All you have to do is scan a list of possible final prices for the day, pick one, and then choose if the price level at the close of the market will be over or under. That's all there is to it. And you can make predictions with bids starting at just 25 cents. So you can play the stock market for 25 cents. Who doesn't love that? You can predict correctly and win while never risking more than the price you paid. You can buy one contract or more if you want to elevate the stakes. Predictions expire daily at market close, providing new opportunities every day. And since it's your money, you'll be pumped to know that event-based contracts are provided by CME Group, one of the world's largest regulated exchanges. So you do not need to worry that Sam from FTX is running away with your money. If you go to Tradovate.com/barstool, you can learn more. Let's go. I'm never going to have a better call than this. Hello.
Oh my gosh, I got
big. You cannot be a pushover. Nobody is going to respect you. We got to get going on that. Be comfortable when you're sick, stats creep. You're also stunting your life. I don't know if that was helpful.